Who even are you? Nah, I'm just kidding. Welcome back. It's another episode of the Crane Kicks Lex podcast. Oh my gosh. I know I feel like I say this a lot, but like it has been a minute. It's been like what, 3 weeks because of like vacations and stuff. Summer's in full swing. We're all like jet setting. Not really. Not really. I guess like not going to Springfield or Joplin, Missouri is not really jet setting so much. Or is it?
That was for work. That
Jessica?
doesn't count.
But like, yeah, that cool Bass Pro there. Sorry, my whole family's like from Springfield, Missouri. So like, like that was my first experience with Andes. Have you guys had Andes? There's two in town.
Yeah, I've had it once.
Frozen custard?
Yeah, oh, it's so
No,
good.
I went to Brahms. I got
Yeah, we talked about
milkshake
Brahms.
from Brahms.
Brahms is tasty. Brahms is tasty. I was like obsessed with Andes, and then we finally got them here, and I don't go nearly as much as I thought I would, which is probably a good thing. Went to the doctor today, and she's like, you're doing all right. I was like, just all right. And she's like, yeah, all right. Doing all right. I'm like, cool. Oh, it's because I haven't had Andes 7 days a week. No, but you guys doing okay?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's been like kind of a whirlwind of the, last couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The World Cup's been going on too.
Oh man, that's just making time flow by. Yeah. And like I was out in a cabin this past weekend, and so I like constantly was like having the World Cup on my phone. Everybody wanted to fish, and I'm like fishing and watching the World Cup, and I was catching like 1 billion fish. And I haven't been fishing probably since I was a teenager with my grandpa. And then he got like a lot older, and we stopped going. And like everybody there was like, "How are you catching so many fish?" And I was like, "Shh, Erling Haaland might score." And they're like, "You literally have something on your line." But no, it was fun. It was fun to do, and it was a good time. But I've been like loving these games, except for like here lately, we've been getting some controversial things.
Yeah,
I'm not loving that. A lot of like drama around like these random calls that they very much they are not helping FIFA beat the whole corrupt allegations at all. In my opinion, you're looking at these and you're like, are you trying to convince people that you are or aren't corrupt? Which one is that? Like, because I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
Because I love Lionel Messi, but there's been a couple games now where you see some calls and you're like, let's see what you're doing there. And then like the Norway game with the ball hitting the wire,
and then it just didn't register.
Not to check into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we're not going to go to VAR for that. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, they have sensors in the ball so it can detect when someone's hair flicks off of the ball. But if it hits a steel beam, they have no clue.
And it just popped right down at the English player's feet. Like just right down. Like what the heck? Like you couldn't have scripted it any more perfectly for them to have that. But yeah, that was crazy.
It's scripted so that it's not coming home.
Yes. Yeah, it will not be coming home. That's for sure. Like they're like, yeah, we did it. No, you didn't. You're not making it past that. Hey, is Sorloth guilty for not making that pass to Holland?
Yeah.
If I was a Norway fan, I'd think
regardless
upset,
if it's Holland or like anybody right there,
any human.
Yeah, you just have an open play.
Yeah,
you're right. It's just the smart thing to do.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man,
that one
2v1 with Erling Haaland on the back of the defender, wide open. Sorloth tried to say that he didn't have an angle, and I was like, buddy, everybody saw you had at least a couple angles, and plus all you had to do is change your pace. You could have slowed down all of a sudden and had an even better angle, in fact. And Erling Haaland
also, if you put like anything in front of Haaland, he's fast enough to catch it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%. He just wanted to be like the guy. Yeah. And I won't be convinced otherwise. That was a moment where it's like, you know what? I'm tired of everybody talking about him. I'm going to score this goal. No, you're not, buddy. You're not that guy. Like sometimes you're just that support player, You're not always going to be the main character. And that's okay. Just be the main character in your own story.
Sometimes you're Jordan, sometimes you're Pippen,
Yep. I mean, of course, I say this after like the U.S. thrashing at Belgium's hands. Like that was embarrassing.
What are you talking about?
That was embarrassing. Blah with Tim Ream just deciding to just have the worst game of his entire life, and Matt Freese being like, I'm gonna go out and instead of kicking the ball, I'm gonna kick the ground. I'm just going
to. Yes. Oh my gosh.
I've kicked the ball 5 million times in my life, but I'm going to do the ground this time just to see how it feels.
They just forgot how to play soccer that day.
Truly. That was abysmal. It was abysmal. There were a lot of feelings that day. And it's like everybody's like, yeah, you really thought that the U.S. was going to win? I'm like, what? Number one, why not? Number two, probably not. But it was the way we decided to go out. And let's be honest. Like, I was kind of happy we got Belgium. I was like, all right, out of all the European teams, Belgium is not really that solid.
Yeah.
Like, they've got great talents individually, but they're just not what they once were. The whole golden generation, that's come and gone. That boat has sailed. Now they're just kind of going through the motions.
Those guys are all super subs.
Yes. Truly though. Super subs. Everton and Chelsea legend Romelu Lukaku. being their best player off the bench for 10 minutes every game.
Yeah.
Like what a world that was. But no, still we're down to final few teams. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. If you guys could pull one team back, like if there's just some like weird situation where they're like, all right, we're going to do a fan vote. Give us one team that you want back in the mix to see if they can play for it all. Who would you choose? Verde. Who would you want to? Oh, yeah, that's a sick one. Their defense. Phew. I mean, doing what they did against Messi.
Right. Like Messi, Argentina was sweating there for a bit. Like, oh crap, are we going to be able to pull this off? Like, they had them on their toes for sure.
And then Infantino's like, don't worry, you're going to pull this off. Like, I got you guys.
To that point, I was thinking maybe like Egypt would be cool to see back in it. I just like how they played, and I don't know about everything that went on in that game. There's a lot of weird stuff, especially with like the manager. He was throwing up like the X sign to like signal he got abused, but then there's like there's like been nothing talked about regarding that. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like they need a little bit of a redemption.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I like both of those picks. Those are really, really good. I still would like to see Japan back. That's always mine. I know I've been like real on them, but I just love that they're just a team. They're just, you know what I mean? They're just like, when you think about a team sport, like that's what you would want. You want everybody that's clicking all together. They don't rely on like one superstar to carry the whole ship. Like it's everybody doing their part. I think any of these three teams would be sick to see back in this, and I think that they would have a legitimate chance to at least make it to the final at this point. I mean, I don't know, of course, the teams, there's very few at this point, but they're all good teams. Suspect things at work, but who's winning at this point? Now that we know the last few in the mix.
Feels like France.
It feels like France. I agree.
It's like theirs to lose.
It almost feels like, again, I'm not saying everything's scripted, but it does very much feel like we're at a point where, the organizers at FIFA are like, what would be really cool is if Messi made it to the final, but lost to like the next generation to take over, that whole storyline. And then it's Kylian Mbappe, and he's like that guy. It feels that way.
I'd say France or Argentina for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the two.
I
just feel like it's kind of a done deal. That's going to be the final again.
I'm really hoping for a moment in the Argentina-England game for there to be like controversy so England can get mad at Argentina again for, the hand of God and all that, everything from their history, Falkland Islands and all that, going back to like geographical history and all that.
You didn't know there'll be some drama.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping for.
There's got to be drama. Absolutely. That'll be a good game, though. I'm excited for it. All right. You guys want to talk some LSC? Like, which world game? We're in a championship city over here. We don't even need to worry about World Cup. We got a World Cup. It's called the Super League Cup. Yeah. Hey, let's start with the women's team because we're in that season. Like the club posted back, like the ladies are all back. They're gearing up. They're ready to start this new abbreviated season before we switch our calendar up again. But we got some new signings that have rolled in since then, and one being a familiar face. So I don't know. It's kind of cool seeing like these people come around and like the kind of relationships they've either had with the club or with people with the club. So I know we got Katie Murray coming to us from Spokane, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I feel like everybody was kind of suspecting that we might pull at least one or two Spokane players because of the situation going on with them. Couldn't get Hope Heisey. And I think that was the Spokane player that everybody was waiting for. They're like,
I was really bummed.
Yeah,
dang. Like that was such a bummer when everybody was like, oh man, she went to Carolina. I think that's what makes it even worse is Carolina has been such a contender the past 2 years, and now they got her in net.
Yes. That's a dangerous piece to add for them.
Right.
They're wanting to try hard to stop us from being the only team ever to do the double in the same calendar year. That's what it feels like. So yeah, I would have been bummed just the same, but I wouldn't have been as worried if she went to like some other random team. I would have been like, okay, cool, we'll beat them, no big deal. But then I'm like, Carolina, come on, why you gotta be that way? You gotta do that to us. But that was cool to see her help bolster the midfield. Our midfield's got a lot of people right now. We're looking pretty solid. And I think if I remember right from the club write-up, she didn't play a whole lot last season. I don't remember seeing her name very much. I think she had was it an injury? So hopefully she kind of gets back into the flow of things pretty quick. That'd be really cool to see what she has to offer for us. I know we also had Mac Midgley from University of Tennessee. So got her in the mix, somebody coming fresh out of college. That's worked out good for us this past season. our fresh out of college players, Allie Brown, I know it was one of her teammates, and she held it down for us whenever she joined up with the club. So that'll be really cool to see what she does for us in the midfield. Mars Josephson, like that, I feel like if you've been around for a minute, you would know the name.
You recognize the name.
Yeah, like it should ring a bell from W League days. She was on our W League team. But year one? Was that year one that she was with the W League team?
I believe so,
yeah. So she also played for UK. So another reason why some people might be like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. She's played for UK, played for our W League team. One of those people that, way back when the Super League team was announced, you're wondering like, ooh, is that a name that we're going to see on the roster in year one? Not year one, but year three, which is really, really cool. So I think that's nice that we pulled somebody that is more than capable, a young talent, and that is basically local. So that's really, really cool. And then I think we mentioned this last time, but we're going to mention it again. Gracie Fala, coming from South Carolina. I know we had technically like signed her, but not really signed her like at the end of last season, waiting for her to graduate. So now she's going to be joining us as a part of defense. So so far 4 players. Yeah, man.
I think it should be added that Mars is a goalkeeper. That was not mentioned.
Yeah. So, I did not mention that. Yeah.
Now we have one goalkeeper because Sarah Cox retired and Asman is no longer with the team. She went back to her loan, but then is now loaned out to Denver, which appears like she's not getting playing time right now. Whatever, not our choice, I guess. Whatever. So now we have Mars as our goalkeeper right now. If you were to ask me, I would assume we have a bigger name coming up. I don't know how pro ready Mars is like for the Super League. I know she played with the W League team, but the Super League team is definitely a higher quality than the W League team. So I anticipate us getting a bigger name for the goalkeeper position.
And it feels like if you look around the Super League, there's not a name that you're really like, ooh, yeah, that's who we're going to go for. So it gives the vibes that it's coming from somewhere outside of the Super League now that Hope Heisey's not on the table. Because I don't really look around the Super League and think like, that's the one,
Yeah.
So, maybe somebody from NWSL, whether it be a loan or like straight up, contractual buyout or whatever, I mean, I hope that we've done our due diligence. I think we have. I think that we've done well and we'll be fine because, big shoes to fill. Kat Asman won the Golden Glove last year. That's great goalkeeping. And, we're super lucky that we retained a huge portion of our team, especially starters. And our defense that was very stout. Yeah. I mean, you look at like our defense, we have people that were on the bench that are starter level. So I'm confident that our defense, if anything, will help whatever keeper we go with acclimate and kind of get settled in to who we are and how we play. And I think they'll find success here too. But definitely, I agree with you guys. It feels like there might be a slightly bigger name waiting to join us. So we'll see what happens. Looking at where we're at now, assuming that we might have that, let's kind of take keeper off the table because we're kind of figuring there might be somebody out there just kind of ready to go. Is there any other spot that you're like, I still want to see a name, like a bigger name for that? Or are you guys feeling good?
I don't know if we necessarily need like a bigger name per se. Yeah. I kind of feel like our starting lineup kind of got solidified. I know, and then even after the season, we were saying we would still like to see more like Hannah Sharts and Hannah Johnson in the defensive line, more often, and even players like Amber, we would like to see her more often. So it's not necessarily a bigger name. I think we just want to see the good players that we do have. We want to see them rotated and getting minutes, and so everyone's getting the time they need, and everyone's feeling refreshed, and just having everyone in top form, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you on that one. I feel like as long as we get keeper right, like I said, I took it out of the equation.
Yeah,
I'm feeling solid, and I think all of our backups that we had stay, they showed a lot of who they were last season, and the ones that didn't get as many opportunities, it would be maybe cool to see them factor in, even if it's for late minutes, and just kind of see, all right, what do they got? Like what's going to happen if we have them in there? Because, I think we said this a few episodes ago. The one thing we were really spoiled with last season was whenever we had that like rotating cast of starting wingers. We had 3 that were more than starting caliber, and it was just a constant just boop, 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 switch them out, which was sick. And I feel like we have plenty of capable people. I don't know that we necessarily have that right now where you're like, man, we can keep them guessing all day. But I do think we have plenty of people that are going to be awesome with helping uphold us finishing out games, on the front foot, and or if something were to happen and they were called upon to take that starting position, I feel comfortable. So yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious though to see how many more names we get minus a keep.
I have less so like personnel like concerns more so than like tactically. I just don't want us to do like the same thing and be predictable. You see that with teams where like, you're successful and then, you win that season, but then every other team saw exactly what you did. And, now they're kind of like building a model to like beat you and stuff. So I just want to see us, adapt some new things, but with the same personnel. That's all I'm hoping.
I'd agree with that.
I had a similar thought of different teams, like, adding to their roster. And so, yeah, that was my concern too, is like just not wanting us to get stale, especially as other teams are evolving and trying to grow, like using what we have and building on it and growing as well with what we have.
Yeah, that would be really nice to see. And I hope that, they've been in the lab and figuring out like, all right, what are we going to do? Because that is one really nice thing about us retaining our whole starting system, basically, is now they're all known quantities to each other and to the staff. Yep. And so it does give you breathing room to do like you guys talked about and tweak things, right? And say like, hey, we did that last year. I actually want you to do this on occasion and see what happens. But if all else fails, we do have, this is our base. Which I feel like is something we've been begging for on the men's side. I know we've not had very successful seasons, but we've been like, but at least if we have a core, everybody has an idea. And if they have that coach that stays, they have an idea. But yeah, I think that'll be good for us to have and give us that space, that breathing room to maybe be more creative. So now it's a good shout. That's a good shout. Coach K's got this. We're going to get another one. It's a lock. Right. All right. So women's team, probably at least one more announcement. Who knows? Maybe a handful
this week,
more.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'd say this week. I think that's a safe bet for sure. We'll see what goes down and what we're looking like, though. All right. You guys want to chitter chatter about some men's team stuff since there have been so many games? One very recent and very painful game, in fact.
And
what a roller coaster, though.
A good complete 180 between the two.
Oh my gosh. And like, I think we can take like a holistic look at our recent form. But I do think we have to get it out of the way. That absolutely sucked to lose to Lou City again. We have not been able to beat a rival team ever. Like, we just don't win against our rival teams or the teams that we choose to build these rivalries with. And then somehow, even when we're in form, even when we're on the front foot, even when it's different players, different coaches, different years, different venues, it doesn't seem to matter. We just decide to be like, oh, actually, I don't know. I don't think we're going to beat them. Can we just kind of get this one over with? We'll let them score 1 million goals and then call it a day. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying this team did not try. I do feel like there was some solid effort. And I have to agree with, what's been said from the club. It's tough when you go down to 10. It completely messes up your game plan. And when you go down to 10 against an opponent like Lou City, and I know Lou City's been a little weird since their coaching change. They've not been necessarily, the top of the pack, leading the whole league, but, they're still perennial contenders. And, they always seem to find a way. And apparently they always find a way against us.
I thought we were going to win that game just based on our form and where Lou City is in their form, right? Excuse me. I didn't necessarily think we would like stomp them, but I think we would at least win like 2-0 or something like that. Like, that's what I was hoping for, but it really went downhill like pretty quickly. But it also didn't, because we kind of like held our own at the same time. Like we fought back and to tie it up and get to 2-2, right? But man, the good room thing is just like
frustrating.
It's indefensible, right? For me, I just can't defend him like at all anymore. Just because this is how he acts normally in all the games. Like, he always kind of plays cheeky and, plays with the dark arts a little bit. So, like, him getting a red card, like, it's not surprising to me. And he hasn't been super productive this season for me to, like, be super upset that he even, like, left the field, Like, I know he does offer something, but it seems like with Brow on the field, Brow is kind of taking that need away from Goodrum. And I don't know. It's very frustrating. I do disagree. I feel like a lot of people said that we didn't try or like they gave up. I disagree with that. I felt like they tried, right?
Same.
I feel like there was a lot of effort involved.
I'd agree.
The subs came on and they were still, putting it on the Louisville. Like, we were still making chances happen in the second half and with subs made. So I disagree with people who said that they gave up. I don't think we did. Now, I think I raised the question seriously, and this is a serious question I have to you guys. Can we even call this a rivalry anymore? Like, I'm not joking. I don't even want to like have the Commonwealth Cup or whatever the hell it is anymore. Like, stop marketing it. Stop circling this game. They're not in our, in our conference. This was a cup game. The cup game really means nothing. Like, everybody forgets about the cup at the end of the season anyway. So let's stop circling this game. Let's focus on rivalries of people we have to play multiple times in a season. Like, obviously they're going to force us to play Louisville multiple times in a season because of the rivalry. But if we focus on Western opponents, play, teams we actually need to play multiple times, then we can build natural rivalries with them. Like, seems like everyone hates El Paso, and I feel like New Mexico is kind of like a mini rivalry too, and I'm really excited for that match on Wednesday. I feel like last time we played them, we got the best of them. It was a little chippy too. So overall, what do you guys think? I'm just done with this rivalry.
All right, so I feel like not winning consistently, as painful as it is, doesn't necessarily mean it's not a rivalry. I feel like, if anything, it should make us more hot-blooded to win and prove them wrong and then flip the script. I don't necessarily have a problem with us doing it, and I do think it's come to a point where Lexington fans are kind of tired of taking our lumps. But I feel like it's par for the course. Even if the club didn't market it as a rivalry, you would still have Lou City fans giving us crap right and left, no matter what. So I do appreciate that they're trying to pump it up as a rivalry, because honestly, it's good for both of our clubs, because we're in such close proximity. You want as many fans invested in going and watching as possible, because then it benefits us as individual clubs financially, and hopefully garners support. Now, for us, it probably doesn't garner a lot of support whenever, everybody's like, we haven't beat Lou City ever. And we keep playing them. We just don't beat them and usually get thumped even whenever we're winning. So I think that we need to like find a way. Again, like I said, like you guys reiterated, I don't think it's that the players weren't trying. I do think it's hard for them to feel what we feel, though, because so many of them have only been in Lexington for a year, maybe two, and aren't like born and raised here. So they've not been like bred on the Lexington hates Louisville, Louisville hates Lexington, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, sure, they see it as like, oh yeah, guys, this is a rivalry, let's go play. But they don't see it as like, ooh, whenever I move on to a club or retire or decide to do whatever I decide to do, I get to leave all this banter and crap behind, but these fans have to stay and constantly endure this. So, I think eventually, if you start seeing us do things like retain players like we did with the women's team to a level where they're consistently here and being like, okay, yeah, this is a big deal for this fan base because they've interacted with us more, then maybe you'll see something different. I don't mind that, but I do agree about we need natural evolving rivalries that the fans have decided like, ooh, no, I don't want to see them in here winning. And, for me, I know they're very different, but like you said, like El Paso is absolutely the one. El Paso, or I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just keep thinking back to that one game that just made everybody's blood boil. And so I'm just like, that's a team I want us to kind of get after a bit. But yeah, it's a long-winded answer for saying I think it's okay. But I just think that I think maybe, and this might not be a popular request, but I think maybe it also comes from sometimes as fans, we come off of some pretty solid form, which we'll get into here in a second, and then we lose to our rival. And then I feel like a lot of fans are like, burn the ship. Burn the ship. And I think sometimes we as fans need to take a chill pill. Like, care and be mad that we lost and mad that we're having to hear Lou City fans drag us through the mud. But at the end of the day, also give us a little bit of, if you want to call it copium, just be like, you know what? That game didn't even matter. At the end of the day, we're going to go win the league. And that's really what matters. We're going to go set our sights on that. If we have this one loss, we just got to make sure we're ready for the next one. And maybe we'll be ready somehow. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever be ready. I guess that's the frustration.
So I think rivalry in the sense more along the lines of, because I think you have rivalries in sense of like competitiveness, and then rivalries in sense of proximity. I feel like there's different levels, and I feel like even though we did try, like Dylan said, like we did definitely try, but the proximity, I think it's less the competitive side of the rivalry and more the proximity side. Because like there were definitely like, I mean, the fans, you're definitely giving each other side eye, and very clearly when Louisville was scoring, the fans were looking over where we were all sitting and, like getting in our face. So it's continuing to build in that sense, as far as, the fans really, kind of not like in a bad way getting at each other, but, giving each other crap, like you said, Tyler. So, and I was going to touch on, how it benefits the teams as well in regards to the proximity, being able to travel to each other's stadiums to support our teams. So I think in that sense, it is kind of nice because we don't have any other team in our conference that's easy to do that with. So I do like that factor. Because the primary games we go to are LSC games, and the only away games we go to are the Louisville ones when the schedule allows. So it is kind of nice occasionally to be able to go to an away game to support the team and kind of feel that atmosphere. Like my son, it was really, really getting to him after the red card, and then after Louisville came back, like he was getting emotional. And I think so in that sense too, having to deal with, this isn't my home stadium where I can be like, it's okay, like I'm with my people. It's like you kind of have to shield yourself a little bit off, and
it's different.
So for a 10-year-old, it was a lot for him to kind of grapple with. But yeah, so because we haven't won at all against them competitively, I feel like we can't really consider it a rivalry, even though I think we did play mostly well. There were definitely moments that were very frustrating, but the proximity side of the rivalry for sure.
100%. Yeah. It's just tough because it makes it a not fun rivalry. But I don't think you can throw it away just because it's not fun, because the only reason it's not fun is because we're not winning. It's not because like it's not kind of a good time, because, at the end of the day, I think there's a lot more crossover of fan bases than people realize. It's not necessarily that everybody is straight diehard purple, straight diehard green. There are people that are like, I'm supporting soccer in Kentucky. And I love them both. And that's okay. I don't have negative feelings towards people that do that. I get it, because a lot of people, for them, Lou City was first, but then they were closer to Lexington. They're like, I want to be in on that too. And that it is what it is. Right.
Right.
So yeah, it needs to start being fun for Lexington fans, though. That's for sure. Because then it becomes something you dread. And you're just like, oh my gosh, it's a foregone conclusion.
Again.
Yeah, and of course, us diehards will always tune in. We'll show up when we can and do all of that. But yeah, like it kind of takes a little bit of the fight out of you. You know what I mean? Because then you don't even have like good banter anymore. Because how do you banter with a team you lose to all the time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you do about that. So, gosh, I'm pleading with the team to win one. and maybe we live in a different world if we don't go down to 10. I do think that it was a little suspect that he got 2 yellows off of those, he being Goodrum, off of those 2 fouls. I don't know that both of them were yellow worthy. I mean, yeah, Goodrum's a little physical. Goodrum does a little bit of the dark arts. I watched a World Cup match where Erling Haaland picked up a man and threw him across the box, and he didn't get a card. They were just like, "Don't do that, man." And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm 6'7" and I destroy people. So I don't know that there's a world where he stays on the field. Yeah, I think that he does, right? Is what I'm trying to get at. If you have a little bit different eyes officiating wise. But you can't really go with that, right? You got to be careful. You got to know what's happening. At the end of the day, Goodrum probably should have been like, ooh, I got a yellow pretty early and pretty easy. I probably should not do my normal play style. Because sometimes I have feelings about players that engage in the dark arts. It's not my style. It's not, how I would choose to play. But at the same time, him being on our team, sometimes, you see the benefit of having somebody that's willing to kind of push back a little extra hard on teams and not let them feel like they're in control and frustrate them and get in their head a little bit. But it's not benefited us enough. And it's not that I dislike Goodrum. I don't necessarily think that it's a situation where he's like washed, right? I don't think he's lost his talent or anything, but I'm still waiting to see a net positive. That, like Dylan said, Brow coming back is it's a game changer. He's brought the spice. And, we were wondering whenever he was doing so good for Knoxville, it's like, I bet he could do it here. And he's proved that he can. And we just need to see who can better support him. And now I guess we're being forced to, which is kind of how we got in the situation where we have, some of the people in the mix that we have in the mix. We got forced into those situations because of circumstance, and it worked out in our favor up until this past weekend. Sorry, Jess, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say that I don't know what it is, because shout out to Tim as he was commenting as we're heading out. When was the last time we've played in Louisville and had all 11 players on the field the whole game?
Yeah, truly, though.
We had Ajago with the red and now Goodrum with the red. Like, have we played there? I feel like there was one other time we might have played there. Or were the only two?
No, I mean, we did way back recently in the day for the first time.
But I mean, like recently, I think those have been the only two, right? Like since we've been in the championship.
Super recent. Yeah. Super recent. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a while since we played in Louisville and had all 11 players on the field the entire 90 minutes. And then I don't know what it is about being in Louisville or playing in Louisville, and I feel like they just lose all semblance of, like, yes, we were trying hard, but at the same time, I feel like it still got under their skin somehow, and it just wasn't how they normally are. Like, the own goal was just embarrassing.
My
that
gosh.
was embarrassing.
Javane Brown, man,
so embarrassing.
We're starting to rack up more super costly mistakes than we are net positives, which is bummer, because I do really feel like he's done solid. Like whenever he was filling in for center back, he had a couple really good games. Like he truly did. But then you look at these decisions that he makes and you're just like, I just don't know, man. I just don't know if you're that starter, and
I don't think his head is in the game at all.
Well, and sometimes I don't know. This is just from an outside perspective. Like you can just kind of tell when somebody's truly meshing and it feels like, yeah, they're part of this squad. And even though he's been a starter, I don't know if I've gotten that vibe that, he's meshed and gelled with this squad.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe that's pure conjecture. They might be all like best buds and know exactly how each other play, but it's just not been
a slight blip.
Yeah. And it feels like we've got a couple of instances of seeing Brown make some decisions that have been super costly for us.
Punched the dude in the face.
like
the
2
red
minutes
card
into a game.
and an own goal.
Right. And you can see like Simile be like, "Oh my God, what have you done? Like, what are you doing, man? I was gonna get there first." And I don't, and maybe, Brown wasn't quick with the draw of noticing Simile out there, and maybe Simile didn't communicate like, "Hey, I got this." It was hard to kind of hear whenever I was watching it. So I don't know, maybe you guys heard something there, but I just, that was costly.
Well, and
you got that. Sorry.
And just being in since we were there, like being in Louisville and Louisville just being like, yeah, you're like, ugh.
Yep. An embarrassment.
Yeah.
When we were up, we go up a goal and then we do that and then we claw our way back. And it's all of these things. And, you add in Goodrum, what happened with him. I mean, and I will say, like, again, there are some suspect things. Like, I think it was Kevin Lambert that had that slide tackle, that studs up slide tackle
on Malloy.
And they showed it in slow motion and it studs up into the side of his leg, and they're like, "Nah, it's a yellow." And I'm like, that's a red. You studs up slide tackle into somebody's leg, that's a red. But he gets a yellow, and so I'm like, okay, so Goodrum gets 2 yellows for just kind of being a little rough. He should have been more careful knowing the officiating and how it was going. But, you compare the two and I'm like, one looks like it's a lot more dangerous than the others. And so there's just that inconsistency again, where you're always like, come on, just be consistent. Like, be consistent if you're going to do that. I don't know. It just stinks. I do feel like in a lot of ways, though, the team played relatively well for being down 10 for so long. And they did give us exciting moments before the game completely got out of hand. I mean, we clawed back and we tied it up, and then there was hope there, right? You're like, okay, it's 2-2. It's 2-2. We can do this. Like, we just, even if we see it out as a draw, okay, let's rally and then come back to the drawing board. But you have that hope that maybe we're the one that scores that third goal. Game's wide open. We might be doing this. And then they managed to get 2 on us. So I think, and I get it. Emotions run raw. I understand the frustration behind not being Lou City, but I think when you look at the game holistically, for the adversity that we faced, we did pretty well against them for a huge portion of the game until we lost the plot, and part of that's because of those 2 costly mistakes. You wonder what happens. Brown doesn't make that whack pass back to Simile, who's not even, back far enough to collect it. What happens if Goodrum doesn't get that second yellow, learns to, okay, take a breather, keep my cool, see it out and see if Mac decides maybe we need a sub to keep me safe. But those are all shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Yeah.
It's just painful.
But, and on a happier note, though, knowing that's not part of the regular season games and affecting our standings, and we're us being on so we look at the bright side. We are on a 3-game streak. Our performance against Tampa was phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
And I know people are like, oh, what was going on with Tampa? Give us something. We played so good.
Yeah.
To go against the top team currently in the Eastern Conference and us being their second loss, of the season so far.
That was big.
It was really big.
I agree. And I think that's maybe where I was kind of getting with the Lou City thing, where everybody's like, oh, burn the ship. And I'm like, hey, look at our last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if you look at that game,
El Paso 4-1.
If you look at that game out of context, it looks like hell is freezing over, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look at everything as a whole, and you consider how it's not even the same. It's the cup. It doesn't even affect our standings in the league. It's kind of like everything's all right.
I mean, can you think back
we had one bad game
several episodes ago where we were scared about the upcoming run? We were like, oh man, El Paso, and then Detroit, and then San Antonio, Indy 11, Tampa Bay, not a loss among them, and that's great. And not only not a loss, right? We have the 4-1 thumping of El Paso, 4-1 thumping of Tampa Bay, which at the time El Paso was like pretty up there in the standings. They might have even been like 1 or 2, and then
San Antonio too,
2-0 on San Antonio. So like you look at all that, we are still trending in the right direction. And, I hate that we lost against Louisville. Oh my gosh. It was making me seethe. My skin was crawling. Yep. But I think we can all now just take a breath and be like, that's in the rearview mirror. Like we were on such an amazing run of form. And now it's just time to reality and just like, let's do this. Like New Mexico's coming to our house. Yep. And let's make this happen. And then we'll get back on track with league play, focus on that. Make sure that we do what we can in league play. We still got quite a few games left to make this happen.
I want to say, I hope that the team can put the, you said put the game in the, rear view mirror, right? I hope the team can do that. That's the real test is like, obviously us fans, we can do that, but we have to see it in the next game on Wednesday. We got to act like that game never happened, come out with, same lineup and everything and just play the game, win the game, and continue the streak that we have in the league.
Except similar to the own goal against Las Vegas with Brooks Thompson, now anytime anyone passes back to Semley, I'm going to be like,
oh my gosh.
Oh, we're good.
Name a worse
I'm going to be so anxious from now on.
Us and passing the ball back to our goal. Oh my gosh. What a thing.
Well, can we compare this to last season, right? Were we not on a good form last season, and then we played Louisville
over the summer?
Mm-hmm.
We played Louisville, and then we lost, and then we went into a bad form.
Yeah.
Don't put that juju out there.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I want to not do that. Let's do something different this time.
Well, we had a bunch of injuries too. Pop up late in the season.
That's what got us. It was so bad. Everybody and their brother.
Burks, is he currently out right now?
He was sit on the injury report not long ago. Was it this last match too? I feel like I saw it before that, but yeah, it's just I hope we can stay healthy. The next game, Dylan, you mentioned, let's just roll out the same thing. Goodrum's obviously not going to be in the mix.
Well,
Scott Brothers. Oh yeah.
Because it was a cup game, it didn't count.
Yeah, that's true. What am I thinking? Good shout out. Let's say we do still replace him.
I'm fine with that.
Maybe use him as a late sub.
I kind of like.
I like the Scott.
Draw up top and move Nick back in the middle, and then we got choices for wing. You could put Michael in there. Tariq would be an interesting option. I think that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't hate a change up top, even though Goodrum is available.
Yeah.
Anytime
the Scott brothers are in, like something happens.
It's electric, especially together. Yeah, exactly. But especially together, they're so good. I do think we're at a point where maybe
mix it up a bit.
With Goodrum. Otherwise, I really like what we've got going for us. And I think like Nick Firmino has been pretty interesting with the time that we've like pushed him out wide, because we let Bra take that, central position. I think that's been kind of cool seeing Nick do his work out there. We talked before about how he's a workhorse. They put him everywhere. He just does his thing. I really do think that he had some good success out wide. I wouldn't hate to see him there a little more often and see what's up. As much as I feel like he's been brave in the middle with taking shots, and I feel like he's upped his game several notches from last year. Which, I mean, speaking of, Xavier Zinga is one of those two that's just upped the game.
Dude, he's having
several notches.
Season.
Yeah.
He's doing so amazing. Like, he's cementing himself as a top-tier wingback. Like, geez. What a season for him. I'm loving it. I love that he's got that going for him.
Yeah, him, and I really think Brow is our, like our forward. I don't know if he's like a true 9, but I definitely think he's a forward for sure.
Right.
And
yeah.
I don't,
he's more of a false 9.
Yeah, and I love that style. Like, I think he's great at that, and I think you have to be smart to be able to do that. I think he's intelligent as hell. Like, I think the goal he scored
up there
against Louisville was like incredible by him. Like, I'm just so glad that he is. I thought he was good when he was with us last season. I just feel like everyone with Boss kind of was not themselves, and so him kind of getting his groove back in Louisville and then coming back and to here and finding his place in the lineup, I'm super pumped about that.
I agree, man, because he was like so hyped. Whenever I like looked up his video before he joined us back in the Boss era, I was like, ooh, he can cook. That's crazy. And then Boss is like, I don't know. I'll just put names in a hat and I pull it out. Same with my formation and my tactics. I put names in a hat and pull it out, and then we'll just see. And I'll never wear anything colorful because I'm allergic to color, and I like looking like a Bond villain. I shouldn't say that. Maybe he's colorblind. Maybe he thought he was wearing green every day. I don't know. I should be more sensitive. That's possible. I shouldn't make assumptions.
Winston, if you think your shoes are brown, what color do you think you are?
Oh, New Girl.
Sorry, I had to throw that New Girl quote in there.
So good. Such a classic.
That's one of the best. I love that quote.
That show's great. I love Winston.
Sorry, I had to.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think we'll be okay this week. I think Wednesday we'll see some good stuff from us. I would like to see maybe, like, again, a little change with Goodrum. See what's up. I'm excited to see, Kendall back in the mix too, because I think Javane needs to take just a little breather, kind of figure some things out, take some meditation classes. Think like, okay, why do I punch people 3 minutes into a match? Why do I kick a ball over my own goalkeeper into the goal for a back? Just the standard stuff that we all think about when we go meditate. But I'm not concerned. I'm still upset that we're not beating Lou City. And I think that the next one, like, I don't know, make everybody shotgun a Monster energy drink or something. And then, scream inspirational quotes at them. I don't know. But, man, make them feel this. Brainwash them. Make them, like, go, like, completely rabid at the color of purple. And they just can't stand the color, and they're just, it's like Winter Soldier stuff. You start rattling off the code words, and then they're activated. Because I can't take another Lou City loss. A draw, sure, but we can't be losing anymore. We can't, especially because they're not themselves this year. They're just not.
No,
they're just not. All right, so we got this New Mexico thing on lock. Yeah,
I think. One benefit for us having this quick game is like it'll help get over that game, we just had. Like the fact that this one's so quick, we can get over the previous one quicker. We also got to see Brooks was in the 18.
Oh yeah,
that was super cool. Do we think we can see him? I mean, Wednesday is the goodest time as any, short week. Give the keeper some rest.
Simlay's got it locked down. I miss Brooks, but yeah, I think Simlay's locked in there. Although it would be cool to have them go out there and they like break Brooks Thompson smelling salts together, and then they just give us like a, I don't know, Triple H. Woo! Like we spit the water bottle out.
I just don't want to get ourselves in the position we are with the women's team where we have a lone keeper and we just play that lone keeper the whole season, and then they are the only answer for us. And so then when they leave, we don't have another option. So I see Brooks as the potential like number one goalkeeper for LSC. I would like to see him in. I think he has a higher ceiling than Semley. I mean, obviously we haven't seen him play this season, but I think overall his ceiling is higher than Semway.
Yeah, it's like we talked about last season. As long as he gets that mental side out, makes a bad mistake and they can stay like, boom, I'm good. I got this. Then I think he'll be okay. Because really, truly, it wasn't his skill that killed him last year. It was that. Yeah. It's like after we had that one mishap, then it's almost like he was never the same. And then he had that other mishap. And then it was like, whoa, he just could not pull it back. And I think a lot of that might have been the environment too. I don't think it was all on him, but I'm sure the environment wasn't necessarily like super like, yeah, all right, you're okay. But I think we got this with New Mexico, right? So they've 25 points sitting in third. 21 points sitting in third. I was looking at San Antonio for a minute. And we're at 18 points sitting in ninth. That's not really a huge gap between 9 and 3.
No.
If you really look at it number wise. So,
and considering who we beat previously, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And they're not the most goal scoringest team either. Where they had, I think, 15 goals, and they've had 14 scored against them. So they're almost running at a 1-to-1 ratio here, where we've actually been a decent bit more productive on the goal scoring side. We've been scored on plenty, but we scored lots of goals too. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. And I think it's cool that we get to be back at home to face another Western Conference opponent, especially such a strong one, and this be another good like palate cleanser. Like we got this and we're back.
How many times have we been scored against?
16 it looks like.
Is that a defensive problem or is that a goalkeeper issue?
I feel like I've seen a little of both.
More defensive blunders, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I've seen a little bit of both, though.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple with Simlay that I'm like,
We've had 4 clean sheets, and that's like several. Like we're kind of in the middle as far as that goes. Whereas Orange County's had 5 and San Antonio's and currently in first with 6 as far as the West Conference goes. So we're not that far behind in that sense. And we're towards the bottom as far as as goals conceded with the teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So
we're doing pretty solid overall. I feel like our position in the table doesn't really tell the whole story of who we are now. And now meaning we've shaken Lou City off our back and we're back to what we were. I don't know that you can do that easily, but at the same time, I think sometimes you just have those little wake up call games where you're like, "Ooh, we were doing so well, and then that happened. Let's find our center again, and then circle back. We'll be fine. We'll be fine."
Yeah, it's true. Our goal differential right now is 5. New Mexico's 1.
We're doing solid, and a lot of that success, I think, is with things like Brown. And I think that's helped a lot because it's changed up the look a lot for us and brought us some success.
Do we remember his exact date that he came back and when he started to see action? Because obviously we can kind of directly correlate that to our success. Really, that timeline.
That's true. Was it Was it El Paso?
Nope, Detroit. It looks like. Yep. Because May 29th we played against Greenville, and then by June 6th he was playing against Detroit for us.
Nice.
And by June 13th he had scored a goal for us. Had an assist against Tampa, a goal against Lou City.
That just reminds me.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Medense and Latif.
I was going to segue there.
I mean, I guess that kind of shows how much.
By saying we won't be seeing 2 players this week.
Oh.
But no, yeah.
Speaking of players.
I mean, seriously though. Yeah. But we will not be seeing Latif or Alfredo in green. They are no longer with the club. Mutual termination. Is anybody really that surprised by either of these? I don't really think
I
that
don't
was.
know. It's not that I'm like surprised. It's just like, where did it go wrong? You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like it's such a weird situation with Latif. Like they make that hype video. They're like, man,
Yes.
we got Latif Blessing, and then he's like injured, and then he's in, then he's out, he's here, he's not. When he's on the field, I never really felt like I was like, oh dang, oh man. Like it
Yeah.
was just kind of like, there's a guy playing soccer. There's a guy, you know, like and he was
Yeah.
good. I just don't feel like he was the game changer that they thought he was going to be when they signed him. And surely there's a little bit of that from the club, like, we have some buyer's remorse. And I'm sure Latif on his end was probably like, you're not really featuring me, and I'm not able to like get into a groove. So that one didn't really come out of nowhere for me. But then say I just felt like that was a long time coming. I think he's a super talented guy. I think he was one of our most skilled players whenever you look at his footwork and his ability to progress the ball. I just feel like he kind of stalled out. And I don't necessarily think it was just because of his playing time. It was just, I don't know. You can kind of almost tell when younger players mature and change and kind of become that person that's like, all right, what the team needs is this, and this is how I will play because that's what the team needs. It to me, and this is just my observation. I'm sure he's an awesome guy. This is nothing about his character, but to me, maybe a little bit about his character. To me, it always felt like he was playing for him and not the badge. It was like, I'm gonna put on the Alfredo show so people see me and they will give me better opportunities, which fair play. Everybody deserves to chase better opportunities and put themselves on a highlight reel. But I'm also a very firm believer of like in a team sport, that's how you put yourself on the highlight reel. Is you're doing what the team needs. And it just always felt it was more of what does Alfredo need? You could see that in how long he would hold on to the ball because he was always like, I'm going to beat these 4 defenders that are within 3 feet of me. You watch, and then I'm going to score a banger, and it's all me. And that's just what his play exuded. That might not have been what was in his brain, but the way he played gave off those vibes. And so, you see him even whenever he's healthy and available, even whenever he's returned from his loans, it was just like he was very in and out. And you're like, okay, he did fine enough. So what else is going on back there? And, if I had to guess, if I had to just pull out a guess, I feel like he just has a very different vision for himself than what the staff has. And I think that's been true for 2 years now. So,
yeah, I agree.
I hate to see him go.
Yeah.
I think he was super talented. I just think he never found a fit in the team and in the building overall. And maybe him and the staff didn't get along or something. I don't know. It just never felt like he was like truly a part of the team. And like I really wanted him to be because, like we said, we know that he's super talented. We know that he can play, multiple spots and he can do multiple things. He's excellent, at dead ball situations. He's excellent one-on-one. The Tyler said he could take on 4 guys at once. Like that was something we saw him do, but if you make that your main thing and that your only thing, then that's not great for the team,
Could you take on 4 players? Maybe. Should you take on 4 players?
Probably not.
That's another. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love ambition from players, and I want to see them ball. And you do have to have ego to play sports. Even the most humble athlete has to have some level of ego to drive and to push and to make you want to excel beyond what some regular person would in your craft. So I don't want it to feel like I'm just saying like, man, I can't stand Alfredo Medince. I just, some players you can just tell when they're here for Lexington or at least for their squad. And when they're just like here, just here. And it's just another piece of their career. You know, we've had a few of those over the years, and that's just the vibe. Latif, that was always just a mystery. That was just such a strange whirlwind, and I don't even have a big enough read on Latif and his situation to fully understand where it all went wrong, or was there still talent in the tank, or was it like agents being like, you want Latif Blessing, look at his highlight reel from 5 years ago, man. And
well, yeah, because what was he doing before he signed with Lexington? Wasn't he not rostered, right? Or like he was hurt?
Yeah. So it just felt I don't know, like really, really strange. Because you would have thought that we had signed Lionel Messi when we did it. a whole video. Yeah. And Aaron Malloy, that's somebody you make a video about.
Yeah.
Unknown quantity coming off injury, maybe. I don't know. But it's all in hindsight, and I appreciate them trying to get fans hyped about a name that has made an impact in MLS and done his thing. And I don't feel like we'll be in severe trouble as a team without them, though. I don't feel like there is like an Amina Ekic size hole in our team because of their departure. That was like, whoa, man, I wish we still had her. This is like, all right. That hurts our depth some, but I'm sure we have a plan somewhere in there. Maybe somebody's coming back from injury soon. Maybe we're making a mid-season signing. I don't think that that's out of the realm, especially with, how Mac took over the team. Maybe there's somebody he had his eye on, and now that things have settled a little bit more, he's like, what do you think? We just released 2 players, and let's see what they've got for us. But I'm curious to see. That's for sure. I just hope whatever we do, it's net positive. That's what I need. I need net positive right now. But I don't. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was going to go on a different tangent. So go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say, like, I don't think I'm like upset with our personnel overall now, though. I think we could do it.
Yeah. I was just going to say that, like, sometimes I feel like our best players are the ones we haven't spent a crazy amount of money on, or like ones that like the hype hasn't been there for. Obviously Malloy is worth every penny, right? And he is worth the hype. But other players, I'm like Xavier Zengay, where's the hype around him? He's a great player for us, man. Like that guy cooks.
He's building a career, that's for sure. But he's not doing it. Like I said, it's not like this is the Xavier Zengay show. This is the Lexington Sporting Club show.
Yeah. Well, he plays very selfless in his game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so good. You can tell it's for the team.
It's almost like
even if
he's the leader, and it's just like, but he plays so well with everyone. Like, this is his team. Like, he's the X-Man, and we are the X-Men.
See what you did.
See
what you did.
Yeah,
I got that.
Professor Xavier.
Is it? Yeah, Professor. He would have to shave his head. Like, come on, cool. Like, oh my gosh, a hover chair that can just zip him up and down the field. He uses his mind powers to score goals. All right, we're getting down a whole.
Ordonez is totally Wolverine, right?
Ooh, I see him as Gambit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we don't have Sophie anymore for the French guy.
No, we don't, do we? No, we're running low on Frenchmen. Yeah, for real. Jeez, yeah, we've been doing good. We've been balling, and I appreciate what everybody's been doing out there and their efforts. And I think we can get it. I think we're good. Okay. Roster moves. Who knows if we're changing it up? We'll see. I think we got New Mexico. I hope it's like another like cool game like last time they visited. That was such an electric game. Of course, it was well marketed and there's a million people there, but even still, it was just a good match overall.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get entertained again for this midweek one. So correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they announced that it's $1.50 beer night?
It is.
And puffs at the pitch.
It is.
Yeah, and pups at the pitch. Double whammy, which is awesome. Got both of those rolling at the same time. That should hopefully help draw people in on a Wednesday night, 7:00 at the stables. So, yeah, a little late
Hey,
Wednesday night,
on
but
Thursday, so
it's not school night. Like no school night. We're good. Everybody can go to work tired. Take your kids to the game. Let them watch this because we're gonna get it back. We're gonna have another 4-1 win against a Western Conference opponent. We're just gonna keep doing it. Just 4-1 wins against everybody. That's what we got to do from now on. And then you know what? Every once in a while, if we have to take a 4-2 loss, sandwiched in there every 10th game. Whatever. Sacrifices, right? Sacrifices. All right. Did I miss anything? Gotta call me out. After we're done, you guys are always like, you didn't say anything about this. And I'm like, I know.
That's usually Jess's job.
Yeah. Because she's got such a good memory.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you do, at least for LSC stuff. I know you forgot your kid's birthday that one time, but like I'm not talking about that. It's okay. They only cried a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. You would never.
Not that I can think of.
Good stuff. Hopefully we'll start seeing some merch with a star upon bars.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
So cool.
I need my star stuff. Stars on all of the star. Me need star. Sorry. I need it though.
Hey man, mentality. Yeah.
That's what I did. I was beating at the door of the club store. Leslie's like, "We're not open yet," and I'm like, "Me need star, star now." It's like, please go home before I call security, man. No, it hopefully will be here soon, especially because like the women's season, August.
I'm so hyped.
I'm so excited.
Look, let's be honest. If the first kit is a trash bag, but it has our badge with a star on it, buying it.
Yeah.
I'm getting that first piece of merch, that first kit that has a star. So please make it good. Please make it really, really cool. Because I'm going to buy it no matter what. But I'd rather have something that looks cool, like the last two. Pretty please. I guess technically the last three. They've had three. Watch it just be that. They're just going to like do the
white one again.
Because it's not a calendar. God. Yeah. It's not like a true season. And so they're like, we won a championship in it, so we're wearing it till we win 2.
Oh my God. We need.
I still think we need to go with the flowers. They need cool. The women need a flowers kit. Like, yeah. I feel like that would be awesome.
I like it. Yep. Hey, maybe it's already in production.
They deserve their own distinct design, different from the men, because the men did not earn a star.
Yeah.
So do not give them another white kit. Do not give them the same kit as the men. Let them have their own unique design for this season, please.
Watch. Jess has this cool idea about the flowers to stick with the racing theme.
Yeah.
And they're just going to give us a flat gold kit. It's because we're the golden team. That'll be like the thing stitched into the back. We're golden, and then all they're gonna do is play K-pop Demon Hunters for everything. It's just gonna be golden on repeat. No, I hope it's something cool like what you said.
And like in green, I feel like they could do a really cool green flower thing. Like yes, I have this whole vision in my mind. I feel like, and it would look so cool.
Leslie, hit us up.
Oh man. I can't draw, but we're relying on you, Jess. Jess, you got to draw the flowers and show them what you're thinking so they don't mess it up. No, I think it would be really, really sick. Unique kit for us to do, but I'm ready for the star kit. So psyched. Okay. Wednesday, though, we got men's team action. New Mexico United, another Western Conference opponent. We're done with the Prinix Tire Cup. So you don't have to worry about buying Prinix tires and supporting them anymore. I don't know. Did anybody before? Sorry. So match Wednesday, 7:00. Bring your pup. Bring your $1.50 or $3. Whatever you want to spend responsibly at this match, because I think we got this win. We're going to make it happen. Hopefully people capitalize. Was it last week that they did the 250 tickets?
Yeah.
They only had 250 for America's birthday. They're like 250 tickets for 250. I was like, yeah,
I snagged some.
I did.
For my friends.
I grabbed some too. I couldn't pass it up. Watch, we were like 100 of those 250. Snagged them all. So hopefully you capitalize on that. If you saw that, if you didn't, it's still not that bad to get to a game. Like it's one of the cheapest forms of entertainment you can go to in town and have a good time. So I hope we got the stadiums as packed as we can for a Wednesday night. Get that extra dub. It's gonna happen. We're back on track. It's all okay. Everything's fine. Win the league. That's all. That's all we need to do. Player Shield 2. Yeah.
Let's run it back.
Probably, yeah, let's just do that too. All right, cool. Well, I think that's all we got. So, what it is. Come on, you Greens.